Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for July 19th through the 25th, 2021. So before I begin, I just want to welcome everyone, and first let's just take a deep breath. And just really just let go of everything that's been on your mind, or especially anything that's weighing on your heart. And just release. And as you let go of the tension, they're just writing the word manifestation. So it's very important that we take the time to breathe, to let things go. It's to get this sense of when energy kind of builds and you feel like you're like kind of in a knot. And what's really important is to remember to breathe so that you're able to center your mind and also let go of what does not fit, that which is not in alignment with that center. So it's an opportunity to be able to let go. And so interesting, just some kind of little insect just went by. The first time I've ever done these readings. And it's just remind me of the things that can get to you, right? The pestering sort of energies that might be around as a distraction. And these things might be things that where we need to let go, the attachments where we need to let go, the things that irritate us or that pester us. These can become distractions to manifestation and your focus. So it's really important not to allow things to really get in the way of your focus. So before I continue, just want to remind everyone about I think this next weekend coming, I will be away, but I will obviously record the video beforehand, before I go away, just for the weekend. And also there may be some of the daily card messages for the following week that you might not see right away. I don't know how, I can't tell you what, but just because I'll be away and I'll just take the time to relax. So just be aware of that. My special offer for my half-hour reading of $77 is still available, which has been extended to 1 full hour for the $77. You could go to my webpage, theangelschool.com, where you can find that link, and when you submit it, within 24 hours, I will send you a confirmation email that will note the special offer and for the full hour for that same price. So there's just no change on my website for a special offer, but if you select the half-hour reading, it will automatically, when I see that payment has been submitted, I know that you've chosen the special offer. So, all right. And just be aware that I will get back to you within 24 hours on the first business day, and to be aware of the starting date that I indicate for availability, etc. All right, so there's just, let's tune in to this week's energy. And the first thing they're showing me is a tree, and they're showing me the back of a woman in a robe, which is different. Long hair, dark long hair, and she's standing in front of the tree. And it almost feels very ritualistic in a way. They're writing the word costume. And I feel like it's in contrast to this, because this is just plain and simple, just like a long gown, plain white gown. And she's standing in front of the tree. And I feel like this week, when they write the word costume, that we're going to be shedding a costume, something that we put on that's a performance or an act. And here they write in the word blossom, when she's sort of in this just plain white gown. It's almost an initiation. It feels like a blossoming of your core self. It will be unfolding for you in this week. Now, with everything that we're trying to do in terms of manifestation, and this sense of the core self coming through, emerging, blossoming, this is what is creating all of the challenges they just wrote around the changes that you are feeling guided to make. And there's change happening on so many levels of who you are. Change is so many different layers of change is happening, because for this core self, is the word that I feel that they're using, to emerge. Your core self is challenging the costume. It's challenging the facade, the act, the performance that you've been reenacting. And that's what the ego does, cycles, it reenacts, that you've been reenacting over and over again, to the point of noticing that it's not really working, but it's what you know, and it's what you think you know from your earth experience. But the core self that's emerging is your true self. It is the aspect of you that has gained so much wisdom, that is truly connected. Because standing in front of this tree, for me, the trunk is about the channel of energy that flows from source and earth, from earth, meaning Gaia, to source, and so all that information in between, all that support, that's where we feel this channel of love. That is to say, the passions that we feel for our lives, for our loved ones, for ourselves, when we're speaking the words that we choose to empower others. Okay, they're simply writing, this is the channel of your power, your spiritual power. And the true self is emerging and is seeking it out, or is recognizing this. Like, by recognizing this trunk, her standing in front of the trunk of this tree, is that she's recognizing true power, your true power, and is bringing that forth. And with that is coming a lot of challenges. They're writing the word argumentative. So you're going to find that as this core self emerges, there's going to be, the challenges are creating resistance, or resistance is the reaction to the core self. That will be within your own paradigm, as well as, in terms of your psychology, but also in the psychology, the paradigm psychology of others around you. And there will be those that they're writing the word, that you will find agreement with. And there will be those that will be argumentative. And this is not personal. This is a response to the core self, who is like a powerful reminder and activator of the core self within others. See, the core self sees clearly the truth, and it knows, and it automatically induces this elevation in everyone else. And there's going to be resistance because some people, it is not their time quite yet for the core self to emerge fully. But it is time to agitate the environment, the conditions that they have fostered for themselves, cultivated. It's time for that to be, shaken up a bit. So therefore, you're going to feel support. You're going to see support, and you're going to see, you're going to get some backlash. And you just have to realize it's a response to the core self of you, not you. Okay? And so they're writing the word relax. Really relax. And this allows you to really take inventory. They wrote the word assessment, but it allows you to take inventory of yourself. And this is happening because they're writing this word now professionally. So right now, this is happening in our professional lives. It's where it's affecting us the most, because this is where we put on the biggest act, the biggest performance. And many of us will be finding alignment with the core self through our professions, and our professional lives. Okay. So that's a lot to take in. So let's just sort of take another deep breath. And really just be aware, notice the difference in your energy from when we first started, when we took the deep breath, and where you are now. And when you act in accordance with your core self, when you don't resist it, when you embrace it, you feel this energetic progress. And this is what I want you to be aware of right now, the progress, of alignment that has happened just in this short period of time of receiving this information. Even if you don't understand fully the information is a matrix of energy medicine, if you will, that is helping you to find the balance that you need, helping you to come into alignment with the core self. And there are unicorns around us now, helping to establish they're writing the word, a safe zone for this information to be assimilated. And so your unicorns are lovingly nurturing you right now. And they're brushing their face against yours. And just helping to soothe your mind. And they're writing the word faithful. So they're trying to just really soothe you and pour into you the elements that would induce tremendous faith. And you might feel as though your mind and your heart chakra, your third eye and your heart chakra, your conscious, your crown chakra is being lit up. Okay, so as they're doing this work, and it gets a little warm, if you're feeling very warm, that's because your unicorn is doing this energy healing with you. And we have the Archangel Ariel as the Archangel message for this week. And it says, spread your wings. Do not hold back right now. The time is perfect and you are ready to soar. So this is definitely a card just giving you a clear sign that if you're wondering, is this the right time for me to really think about this? Is this the right time for me to do this? Should I just go for it? You know, whatever it is, it's at the top of your, that is the value and priority of your core self. So first drop the act, right? Drop the act and all the responsibilities, they say, that come with that act. Because the only reason you have those responsibilities or feel those obligations, the attachment to all of that, is because of the performance. It's like when you put on, when you are acting, you know, a whole lot of drama comes with it, a whole plot and characters. You attract all these things. If you drop the act, you'll drop the plot, the characters, the drama, etc. So first, drop the act so that you can see what really are your priorities and your responsibilities. Because if you don't, and you continue with the act, the performance, you have more responsibilities on your plate than are really necessary. They, in essence, they don't belong to you, but they belong to your act. And as soon as you drop them, the requirements that it's seen by others, they won't have those expectations. And you don't have to fulfill them any longer, especially because they don't satisfy you or you don't like them. You don't like this character that you play or the roles that it's taken on. This is very personal. And it, you know, this is something that can be very upsetting to hear. But this is the time for you to spread your wings, meaning to really allow the core self, this higher, this pure, this true self, to emerge and to expand your vibrational wings. Okay. All right, let's take a look at the card for the beginning of the week, and I see that we have a reverse card here. All right, so the first card, this is the King of Pentacles here. Okay, and right away, you know, attention is drawn to the crown, and so this is a sense of all of the kings in the tarot are. They wear a crown, which means that represents authority. And it also, as it might relate to you, it reminds you that you've reached a certain level of authority. You have this, you have the wisdom, the skills, the abilities, and the experience to take on what it is that you desire. And so it's about you really stepping into that role to, and owning it. Now, all the kings uh, represent the element of fire alongside the element of the suit that they are representing. So the suit of Pentacles is earth. So it's this, um, at this point, the fire energy is like about beliefs and ideas and, energy, right? You have resources and, fuel. So it's this idea that you really have this leadership ability in terms of ideas and insight, all this fire type of thing, your passion, experience. And then with the Pentacles, this is about the earth element and the material realm, the physical senses, about finances and home and your work life, etc. And so this is a card that usually indicates someone who has the Midas touch. Okay, so you have strong values. You have, or you need to develop strong values in terms of how you use your resources. The King of Pentacles is someone who knows how to use his resources, and he knows how to make decisions, and he is someone who knows how to get things done, right? He's organized, he knows how to run a business, so if this is, you can either think of it as this is what I need to be focusing on, or that I need to start really owning some of this, okay, and stepping into some of this. So this just really shows that this person is somebody who knows how to manifest, and it gives us a sense in the start of the week that you have the ability to really start, laying out what is the phrase? I can hear it in my head, sort of, but it's a feeling, not in words, but I can feel the words. But it's a sense of that you can really start to lay the groundwork, that you can really put down the foundations so that this thing can really start to unfold for you if you're in that sort of stage. So it's an encouragement of a sound business deal, all right? Or if you're buying a home, all right, this, it would represent a solid deal. It means that whatever that you're trying to do in your physical world, that you're trying to manifest, you're on solid ground, and it's a golden opportunity. All right. Let's take a look at the card for the middle of the week. Now we have the Nine of Swords and fear. I mean, this is a card of fear. We conjure, you can see all these ghostly figures in the background, and it's about, being on pins and needles and letting your mind get the best of you. You let your fears and get the best of you, and you start to imagine things that aren't there. Your fears is like your fears are taking on a reality of their own, and this can impede all of this clarity and confidence that you have. And so it is something for you to really be aware of, and to not allow your mind to run away with you like that. So faith, trust here, and what you have to really start doing is, you can see she's so focused on all these things, but you have to really start focusing on the tangible things, right? Again, you got to get grounded, all right? And things that you can take with your five senses, that you can touch, taste, feel, deal with what's real, and don't worry about what might or could go wrong. Again, there's always risk involved. So, the king, the Pentacles court, they're very practical, pragmatic people. I mean, they, you know, they will always be open to an opportunity. So they know that risks are involved, but they're also practical and they're prudent. They're also strategists. They save. So they're always prepared, or they feel prepared. And maybe if you feel really nervous about something, maybe you need to look at what your foundations are. Even if they're limited. Be aware of what's strong, what you really have. What are your assets? And then within that understanding, what is it that of your assets can you, how much of it can you really say, I don't want to use the word gamble, but sort of risk, or because an investment is obviously a risk, right? But work within the framework of what you have, but know that, as they've been saying all month, that you're safe, meaning that there are risks involved, but it's going to pay off. And that's what I feel like with the King of Pentacles here. Is it's still a solid opportunity, or a solid deal, or solid negotiation. There's some risk involved, but the returns are going to be rewarding. And again, it's time to spread your wings. So you might be afraid, but that's just a resistance to your expansion. And this says you have an opportunity to expand your resources. You have an opportunity to create more stability in your life financially. You have a great opportunity to really, if you're going to change careers, you have an opportunity to do that, and to have it be successful and rewarding for you. Doesn't say that it's going to be easy. Wow. Okay, so what we have here is the Magician. Let me just turn it reversed. And so this is a card about, your spiritual power, right? The Magician knows how he's an alchemist, and he has all the wisdom and knowledge of these elements, and how they work, like a scientist. He knows his craft, and he is just exemplary in how he executes his craft. So if he executes a spell, it's always going to work. In reverse, this is telling me that you've lost a sense of that power. That you don't lose your power. You don't lose who you are. You don't lose your core self. We manipulate. Like, the reverse magician is someone, like, who you can't trust in a sense. He's this actor. He's sort of not being authentic. And sort of, I don't want to use words like the dark magician, but it's this sort of idea, because we have to translate these sort of archetypes into our everyday experience. And when we try to make ourselves be something that we're not, we eclipse or tripwire our own power, spiritual power. It's one of these words. Hopefully you understand the energy I'm trying to find the word for. And so this is about you really standing in your true power, that you need to work on. And with the reverse, it's about you needing to work on standing in your true power, to own your knowing and your clarity, and stop acting like you don't know what to do. Stop acting like you don't know what your heart, what you're passionate about. Stop acting like you don't know what's the next step for you. Stop acting like this. And we do. You may have heard me say a long time ago that one of the biggest things that I learned in doing these readings, especially when I started getting all of these sort of weird visions that I didn't think was psychic, seeing trees and all these different arrangements, the stuff that I will say, words, and I was, the first thing that they wrote to me, the first symbol I ever saw was the letter T in the very first reading I did. And, because I meditate before and I try to draw down, and all I kept getting was T. And the reading was going to start and I was going to take, but I knew it meant trust. It could have been anything, but I just knew it. I knew it meant trust. So I knew that. But then when everything else came, I wasn't trusting that I knew what they meant. I kept questioning, what is this? What does this mean? And I'm just sitting there in the reading like, kind of thing. So once I learned to say that I think I know what that is and just go with it, and then eventually I know what it is. Sometimes I'll see a word and I only see partially what it is, or it's so blurred I can get a sense, and I just go with it anyway. And once I've stopped saying I don't know and started to say I think I know, and then just accepting that I do know, then it all started to flow like it was my first language. And so you and I, we do this. This is one of the biggest things. This is the way. I mean, this would be for me. I'm just going to say this in this moment, that the magician reversed is the ego showing up. Just like for me, the devil card is the ego, but because it's doubt of the power. That's why I'm saying it for here, especially. This was just coming to me. Doubting your power is the magician reversed, because you're acting like someone you're not. You're acting like you don't know. You're acting as though you're not powerful. You're acting as if you don't know that life, no matter how horrible it has been, that there's always gets better at some point. And the only reason it takes so long is because we just can't let it go. Our regrets keep us stuck, our disappointments, that causes us to attract the cycle, the repeating of these things. And that looping experience, that is hell. When I was teaching in Catholic school and I had to take the catechism formation classes, I was shocked by the first bit of information, especially from my Southern Baptist upbringing, when the Sister Dorothy Flanagan, I think she has passed, so may her soul rest in peace, but she was such an amazing person. Oh, these people you meet, they're just the perfect teachers, the perfect this, whatever it is, they're the perfect, their personality, there's something about them. The way she talks, she engaged you. This thing rarely happens, as teachers, where somebody just engages you. But she was teaching the teachers. And the way she talked, but the point is, I digress. I just get emotional just for even remembering this moment with her, those sessions. But she said that, heaven and hell is a state of being. They're not a place, she said. It's not a place. Because she knew it was a shock to most of us, especially me, because we were told it was a place you go to, blah, blah, blah. She said one is in the presence of the Trinity, and the other is in the absence of it. And for me, ever since I heard that, I realized that our consciousness, because that's what we do here in this work. We talk about consciousness. And consciousness is very important where we apply it, where we employ it, how we are aware of it, how we cultivate it. And if you get stuck or put your attention to a regret or a negative emotion or vibration, you will loop that, and that is your hell. Whereas if you focus positive, you will loop that, but that is your heaven. And we go back and forth, and we're all over the place. And that's not really the criticism here, because what you have to understand is through your attention, all these things are our choice to the way we see the reality, because we're projecting onto the reality, the environments around us, this consciousness of beliefs that we're holding. So somebody else could be standing right next to you, and they are in a heaven state of mind because they are not projecting the negative, they're projecting the positive for themselves. So this usurps this and this power to manifest what you desire, your dreams, into the physical reality. It's time for you to spread your wings, allow your core self to emerge, get rid of the act, the performance, because this usurps your spiritual power. And this is what you're going to be working on. Pay attention to the things that keep looping, when you keep falling, like you're falling right back into that same old pattern. Because what you're doing, you're acting, you're performing, and you're acting like you don't know what's going on. If you repeat something, and you can think about it, I can think about it in my relationships. I've seen myself repeat this thing over and over again. Now, how in the hell do I not know what it is? But I'll tell myself, I don't know what's going on. Why is it always like this? No, we all do it. So let's all cut the crap, basically. Let's stop it. All right. So the card I already pulled from the bottom of the deck, and I think this is appropriate, don't you? The Two of Swords. You've got to make up your mind. This I don't know things like, I don't know what to do. And what is it doing? It's not only we're looping, but we're gridlocked. We can't move. We can't make progress if they're right in front of me. And we can't make progress because we keep telling ourselves we don't know what's going on. We know what we're doing. The core self is helping you to see through its eyes what you're doing, by showing you the pleasure that you keep giving up. And that is why your focus of lack is so much on, I don't have this pleasure. I don't have this pleasure. I'm going to use that word as they just gave me that word. So when you realize you don't have that pleasure, make up your mind to stop doing what it is you're doing so that you can have that pleasure. But this is a practice now. If you've been practicing the negative, practicing limitation, practicing this I don't know, practicing this act, then it's going to take time for you to practice your truth so that you can shift from that looping of the hells to looping of your heaven, your desire, your pleasure. Because the universe wants you to truly be happy. But this is the decision that we have to take on. So what you're seeing in your life, your day-to-day life, is that because the minor arcana is showing you how these lessons here are playing out in your life in the day-to-day. You have the power. You have power, and you know it. You have the wand. You know how to use it, but you're pretending like you're not the magician. And that's why you're not seeing things manifest. And they want you to open your wings, meaning spread your energetic chakras. The heart chakra is why the angels look like they have wings, because it's their heart chakra open. It's light, not literal wings. And the crown is their halo, is the crown chakra. So once we open up our hearts and our minds and really fully open our chakras, and that's done by cutting the crap, stop the performance, stop the act, and then that means that you'll have to start making those choices, those tough decisions, because these decisions seem like they're tough, like a gridlock, because we don't want to give up. We don't want to give up we don't want to give up the ghost, because literally, because we've become comfortable with the ghost. We've become comfortable with it. And now we don't really know, the psyche doesn't know can't imagine what reality would be like without the ghost in the room. That's the blame for all your misery. And you're not going to feel safe when you decide to give up the ghost, because you're walking into now new territory, unknowns, and it's going to be explosive. It's going to blow your mind. It's going to feel like the earth is crumbling around you, but it will become a norm, because you'll understand that change and chaos is the wheel. It's the wheel. Without the wheel, you can't turn. You can't move forward. Okay? So I send you lots of love. This is the toughest reading, I think, because I feel like, it's calling me out too, right? So this has really called us all out. It's called us out on our crap, our stuff. And this is what's interfering with our manifestation, our magician, and our authority, and seemingly, control and stability and securities over our assets in the world. Because of this big, huge, phony act. Let's all stop. Let's give up the ghost, as they used to say. And let's start living from our authentic self. Knowing, and then you will find your authentic self by accepting what you know, even if you don't think you know it. Like when I don't know, when you see me trying to find the words, because I don't hear the word, I feel the words from the matrix of energy. But I know that matrix. I know, we all know that vibe. That's why we always talk about vibes, because we know energy. We know it better than energy is our first language, because that's what we are, energetic beings. Everything in the universe is energy. We know the speak, but when we came into this incarnation and tried to use words, learn a language, we have to learn it. We have to learn language. And so it's really our second nature. And that's why we say a lot, I don't know. Somebody speaking to you, I don't think I understand. No, because you're not paying attention to the energy behind what they're saying. Because that's where, for every word, there's a vast amount of energy behind it. So pay attention to that. All right, stopping for real. Love you to death. Have a beautiful week, and God bless you.